Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day. uh, so today as we discuss in WhatsApp, okay, I want to discuss about two past test question, okay. So have you done or not? Have you done? Have you tried? Okay, good. Okay. So you should try, okay? At this time, tomorrow is the test. So should be done lah, okay? You should manage your time too. Where is it? I want to share only now. So this is just discussion, okay? It's not a tips. It's not no, okay? So it's a discussion, okay? So so we go first last semester test, okay? So last semester test they have 7 questions. I think we have the same question as well, 7 question, okay? And then you can see that question number 1, okay? Variance is the average of the square of the distance. Each value is from the mean, while standard deviation is square root of the variance. So based on the above statement, how does the standard deviation help you describe a data set? Give one example. So, so if you do the assignment, okay, you can see what variance or standard deviation will give you, okay? So if the question is based on the above statement, how does standard deviation help you to describe the data set? You should answer based on your understanding lah, okay? I think there's no concrete words or there's no concrete statement, okay? But you know that variance and standard deviation, we use to show, to look either our data, is it dispersed or not? Okay, is it consistency or not? Okay, so you can say like that lah. Okay, we use a standard deviation to describe our data, either dispersed or not, is it a variable or not, is it consistent or not, and then give example. So how you give the example? You compare lah. Okay, you say that maybe shoes A standard deviation is 2 ringgit. Shoes B, the standard deviation is 5 ringgit. So based on these two shoes, shoes A is more consistent, okay, because the value of standard deviation is less than shoes B. That for example lah, okay. So but again, in this course, I don't want you to memorize any statement, okay, but you must understand what is it, okay. All right, B. Atika record the marks of quiz 1 for 10 students from section 1 and section 2. So if you look this question, okay, Atika records the marks of quiz 1 for 10 students from section 1 and 2. The quiz 1 mark are presented in table 1. So you can see you have 10 students, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until 10, but from section 1 and section 2. Calculate the sample mean for both sections. Write the values using the correct notation. So you know, mean, it can be what? X bar and mu. So when they ask you to use correct notation, is it X bar or mu? X bar, okay? Because this is sample. You can see here the words sample, all right? And then how you calculate? Using calculator, okay? So make sure now you know how to calculate X bar using calculator and calculate standard deviation using calculator, okay? So I will share the answer letter in the group, okay, the PDF. But today, now it's just what we call it is a discussion lah, okay. So actually, if you look your if you look your calculator for section 1 ni, your x bar is equal with 6.5, and then for section 2 you get 6.5 as well, okay. And then number 2, can you answer in one? Can you answer in one? Determine the best. Can you answer? Let me look back. Can you answer in one? Determine the best mark for quiz 1. Briefly explain your answer. Sepatutnya based on your answer in one, determine the best mark for quiz 1. Okay? Based on your answer in one, determine the best mark for quiz 1. So if you look here from X bar, 6.5, 6.5. From here, can you see or can you decide which one is the best for marks quiz 1? Cannot, isn't it? Because you get the same value for X bar. So your answer will be cannot, because it gives the same value of mean. Okay, but if you want and then add, we can use standard deviation or variance to decide or to choose the best mark. Okay, so that's important. Okay, so I will give you the answer scheme too later, but that's how you answering your test. Okay, so question 1 is just knowledge. Okay, it's just an knowledge, but for question this one, you need to relate lah what knowledge you have. Okay, but clear when mean, we cannot choose which one if they give you the same answer like this, the same value. Okay, but we can use standard deviation and variance to determine the best mark. All right. Okay, so is it clear question number 1? So question 1 is mostly about your understanding, your knowledge. Okay. Is it clear, everyone?
Clear.
Okay.
Clear, Doctor.
Alright, so now we move to question number 2. In a study, Aman wanted to compare the performance of 3 letters responsible for the rough turning of a motor shaft. Okay, namely letter 1, letter 2, letter 3. I don't know lah, I pronounce it correct or not? Letter. Okay. The design specification for diameter of the motor shaft is 18 millimeter with an error of 0.1 millimeter. Alright, so you can see that the first sentence just mentioned, we have 3 letters, okay? And then from second sentence, they mention about diameter of the motor shaft, and then error plus minus 0.1. So diameter measurement for a sample 10 shaft out of 50 were taken from each roughing letter and displayed in box plot. So you can see that from here, diameter measurement from a sample of 10 shaft out of 50. So this one you can see that daripada 10, daripada 50, kita ambil 10 untuk measure. Okay? And then display in this box plot. Okay, so kita ada letter 1, letter 2, letter 3. And then you can see the value ni. Okay, 18 until 19 here. Okay, so number 1, based on this study and figure 2, state the population and sample. Right, so you can see from here, isn't it? Right, we have total 50 shaft, but we only take how many? 10 sample. Okay, so that's why here your N is 10, your capital N is 50. Alright, so you must read the question carefully. Alright, it can be proportion as well actually. Okay, it can be proportion as well, but here just to mention they measure sample of 10 shaft out of 50. This one pun actually dia akan apa ni? Confuse ni. 10 apa sample of 10 shaft out of 50, 50 tu can be sample as well, but never mind. But in this case, if you look the answer scheme, they say 10 is a sample, 50 is a population. Okay. Okay, number 2. Is there any outliers in ladder 1? Support your answer. So, if you look here, 5 marks. Okay, and then can you see here, is there any outliers? No, isn't it? So your first answer is no. But how you support your answer with calculation? You should know how to determine the outliers, isn't it? So how to determine the outliers? You need to calculate the upper, lower, and then upper boundary and lower boundary. Okay, upper boundary and lower boundary. So how you get this? This is actually upper boundary Q3 plus 1.5 Q3 minus Q1. Okay, but for lower bound, we have Q1 minus 1.5 Q3 minus Q1. So for ladder 1, okay, so you look this one. So you look Q1, Q2, Q3, Q1 and Q3 je lah. So you know that this is minimum, this is maximum, this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3. So you can see that here given lah, Q3 is 18.725. We masukkan sini 18.725. And then Q1 is 18.075. 18.075. So you calculate this one. So here you will get upper bound is 19.7 and then lower bound is 17.1. Okay, so you look the data here. Minimum, maximum is 18.9. This value is less than this one, isn't it? So this value is not outliers lah. And then if you look here, 18. But this one is 17.1. 17.1. Okay, so something wrong somewhere. Never mind. So suppose if you look here, yalah, okay, betul, correct. Minimum is 18, isn't it? So here 17.5, 17.1, which is maybe here, 17.1, okay? So there's no data below this one, okay? Or above 19.7, okay? So that is 5 marks. First you say no, and then you look this one, calculate, okay, you need to show, and then the X is in between 17.1 and 19.7. So therefore, no outlier. Okay, so clear for question number 2?
Yes, doctor.
All right, number 3, here, which letter is less consistent? Okay, so when we have box plot only, we don't have any data, okay, we can use what? We can use what to see less consistent or not? We use IQR, remember? So based on IQR, IQR is what? Q3 minus Q1. So you need to find IQR for letter 1, letter 2, letter 3. Okay, so when you find IQR, you will get for IQR 1 is equal with, 0.65. 0.65. IQR 2, you must calculate using this formula. IQR 2 is 0.55, and then IQR 3, you get 0.6. Okay, so when they ask you less consistent, what does it mean? Is it IQR smaller or larger? Larger, isn't it? because the word less consistent. If the question asks you which latte is consistent, your answer should look IQR the smallest. But now the question is in a negative words, less consistent. So less consistent, that means more variable. Okay, so less consistent, you must look which IQR is greater or which IQR is the largest. So based on this one, IQR1 is the largest. So that's why IQR latte 1, okay, latte 1 is the less consistent. Okay, so 3 marks to calculate the IQR for 1 to 3, 2 marks for you to choose and why you choose IQR1. Okay, IQR1 because ataupun latte 1 because IQR latte 1 is the largest. Okay, now question number 4. Aman claims that the largest diameter of motor shaft produced by latte 3 is 18.750. Do you think his statement is correct? Justify your answer. So look here. This is your latte 3. Okay, and then the claim is largest is 18.750. So if you look here, 18.750 is not the largest, isn't it? The largest value here is 19. Is it right? So the answer should be wrong because 18.750 is a Q3, is a third quartile. Okay, so the largest value actually is 19 millimeter. Okay, that's how you answer. First answer, yes or no, wrong. Why? Because Q3 is 18.750. The largest is 19. Okay, based on the box plot. Latte 3. Alright? Okay, so here you must know how to read the box plot and you must know how to interpret and then you must know how to justify or calculate. Okay, so basically here they didn't mention the shape. Okay, so if let's say I ask you the shape, this one will be skewed to the right. This one as well skewed to the right. This one as well skewed to the right. Okay, all right. So now we move to question number 3. A group researcher study the effectiveness of hypnotherapy on duration daily of sleeping hours. From the first sentence, you can see the variable actually. A group researcher study the effectiveness of hypnotherapy on duration daily of sleeping hour. Duration daily of sleeping hour. Okay. And then 20 respondents are selected. So when 20 respondents are selected, N is equal to 20, small n, okay, sample, where 10 of them received therapy treatment and another 10 respondents did not receive the treatment. So you can see that you have received treatment, not received treatment. That means you have two outcomes, receive and not receive. And then you have the mean and variance of daily sleeping hours for respondents who receive hypnotherapy is this one. And then the mean variance for and variance sleeping for did not receive is this one. So that's mean here you can see you have two populations. You have what? Receive and you will have do not receive treatment. Okay, you have X bar R and then you have S square R receive. Okay, and then you have X bar do not receive and then you have variance do not receive. So given here variance. So variance when it's a sample it's a S square. Okay, so assume the data are normally distributed. Okay, fine. Now number 1, identify the variable used in this study. So what is the variable? I said sleeping hours. They want to study about sleeping hours of patient or of respondent either receive or do not receive the therapy. So the answer here is sleeping hour. Okay, number 2. By assuming the population variance for both treatments are equal. What does it mean? That means population variance are received treatment is equal with population variance do not receive treatment. Construct one-sided lower bound of 97% confidence interval on difference in population mean of number of sleeping hours for do not receive and receive. Alright, so that's important. First, you know this. Okay, so from this actually, you know that the question asks you for 2 population mean. And then you look here, one-sided lower bound. So you have like this. When they say lower bound, it's the left side. Alright, that's mean you calculate from here until here, which is infinity. Okay, one-sided only. Alpha should not divide by 2. So from here, what is your alpha? Alpha is 0.03. Okay. Different in population mean. So you know it's mu. Okay, this is not mu D. This is mu1 minus mu2 because it's 2 population. Receive, do not receive. So mu minus mu. But which one minus which one? Do not receive minus receive. Do not minus receive. Okay, so clear that? That's how you look the question. Okay, how to know is it population variance known or not and so on. So based on this one is unknown lah. Okay, because given 20, you only have x bar and s square. You didn't know sigma square. Okay, so now the formula, look your statistical table formula. Okay, I'll show you the statistical table formula. Alamak. Okay, I faham. So based on this formula, okay, you look this one. Okay, this part. So you look this part. Okay, but we have equal variance, isn't it? So this one. So is it the sample size greater than 30 or less than 30? Less than 30, isn't it? We have n, each of them is what? And R is equal to 10 here, and D is 10 as well, which is less than 30. So when less than 30, you will use this one. Okay, and this is the mu, this is the S pool. Okay, so that's the formula, but this is not one tail, this is two tail. This is two tail, it's not one tail. So when one tail, it become, what is it? Here kan, the left side. So when it's the left side, you will take the minus side only. Okay, I'll show you. You will get, it will give you x bar, which one minus, do not, okay? Do not minus receive minus t new, here alpha only, alpha new, okay? T alpha new, no need divide by 2 as pool. And then you have 1 minus, not 1 minus, square root 1 over n do not plus 1 over n receive, comma, and then the side is infinity. Okay, so this is the formula. But you can have it from here lah. This is for two tail, but you want lower, isn't it? So when it's lower, it will be this side, the minus side, the minus side. And then alpha here, no need to divide by 2. Okay, for sure I will give you the answer scheme But the final answer, you will get negative 2.4944 infinity hours. Don't forget the unit. For mean, proportion, and standard deviation, you have unit. Okay, but for variance, you don't have unit. Okay, so that's 7 marks. Okay, so any question for this one? Do you have any question? Oh, I tak nampak.
I have my question.
What is it?
When we have to divide the alpha by 2.
Okay, why not? Because it's one-sided. When they say one-sided, tak perlu dah bagi dua alpha tu. Tapi kalau dia kata, kalau tak ada ayat ni, kan, find a confident interval of 97%, yes, you ada kiri, you ada kanan. Okay, tapi dalam soalan ni, dia memang cakap one-sided. So, bila one-sided, you tengok kiri ke kanan. So, baru tengok formula kiri ke formula kanan. Okay, formula kiri, tolak, formula kanan, tambah. Tapi alpha tak perlu bahagi 2. Okay? Ada lagi soalan lain?
Okay, Doktor, thank you.
Right. Okay, untuk mean dia memang macam bukanlah complicated, dia banyak rule sikit lah kan. Nak tengok population variance, known, unknown, and then kalau known terus guna formula. Kalau unknown kena check pula sample size ke. Tapi kalau untuk confident interval ni dia akan kasih dia akan tunjuk. Kalau dia bagi ni maksudnya dia suruh minta tu population mean lah. Okay. Alright, so number 3. What is the effect on the width of confident interval into, maksudnya yang you dapat ni tadi, when the sample size is increased. So maksudnya kalau n tu tadi 10 kan. So kalau n tu kita tambah, increase, apa terjadi? Okay, so dia akan berbeza dekat sini. Sebab n tu dekat sini kan. So this is the estimation error. So kalau n ni kita makin tinggikan, the estimation error akan decrease. Okay, this error will be decrease. Sebab you tahu kan kalau 1 bahagi nombor besar, dia akan dapat 0.00000. Kecil sangat. Jadi, estimation error will be decrease. Okay, itu you boleh tengok dekat modul. Memang dia ada satu box yang mention tu. And then, kalau you nak guna mathematics knowledge macam tadilah, you nampak n tu dekat sini. So kalau 1 bahagi apa-apa nombor besar, okay, paling besar pun, dia akan jadi kecil. Dia jadi 0.000 macam tu. Okay. So kat sini, you akan jawab the estimation error will be decrease. Akan turun. Okay. E will be decrease. Okay, when increase. And then, bila kita estimation error ni decrease, width dia ni, A dengan B ni, dia akan lebih kecil. Okay, dia akan lebih kecil kat sini. Okay, that one is a rules juga dekat yang dalam box chapter 2 tu. Okay. Alright, now we move to question 4. Okay, so question 4. Dr. Ku is a medical researcher in University of Wakundo. He makes conjecture that smoking habit can result in the wrinkled skin around the eyes. So dia kata kalau kita hisap rokok, kita punya mata akan ada apa ni? Kedut around the eyes. Okay. He recruit 120 smokers and 125 non-smoker. So you can see here, you ada smoker, you ada non-smoker. Here 120, here 125. To take part in an observational study and found that 100 of smokers and 70 of non-smoker were seen to have prominent wrinkles around the eyes. So daripada 120 smoker, ada 100 yang ada kedut mata dia. 70 yang ada kedut kat mata dia. Alright? So sini adalah N. Okay. N. Kat sini adalah X. X yang apa? X yang ada kedut kat mata. I letak XSW. Smoker, wrinkle. So kat sini I letak X, NS, non-smoker, wrinkle. Okay. So soalan dia, so kalau daripada sini kan, daripada ayat-ayat atas tu, sebenarnya I boleh cakap dia akan tanya proportion. Okay, dia akan tanya proportion. Sebab daripada 120, 100 yang ada kedut kat mata. So dia ada dua outcome lah kan, kedut tak kedut mata. Alright, itu based on cerita. Soalan dia apa? Calculate a 90% confident interval on the difference in true proportion. So, yes, this is proportion. Sometimes they use the word percentage. Okay? Sometimes percentage kat sini. Okay, but when they say true proportion of people, that means we are dealing with pi. Okay? That do not have prominent wrinkle skin around the eyes between smoker and non-smoker. So here you can see they ask what? Do not have prominent wrinkles. This one ada wrinkles ke tak ni tadi? Yang dia bagi 100 tu ada wrinkle ke tak?
Yes.
Ada kan? Dia kadang-kadang trick you kat situ. Dia bagi yang ada tapi dia nak yang tak ada. That's mean you kena carilah balance dia berapa. So sebenarnya kalau nak tengok kat sini, X do not wrinkle, I buat DW. Okay, tapi untuk smoker 120 tolak 100. You dapat 20. And then kat sini 125 tolak 70 you dapat berapa 55 kan? Kat sini you akan dapat X do not wrinkle 55. Okay, tapi ni untuk non-smoker, ni untuk smoker. Okay. So dalam kes ni dia tak minta pun one-sided or two-sided. Dia tak minta pun one-sided lower or one-sided upper. So dia cakap terus je 90% confident interval. So dia akan ada two tail. Dia akan ada kiri kanan. Okay. Dan ini proportion, two proportion. So kalau you tengok stack table, you ada satu je. You ada satu je formula ni. Ni. Alright. So you ada P1, P2. Okay. So P1, P2 macam mana you nak tahu dia P1, P2? Dekat soalan lah. So kalau you tengok soalan tadi dia kata apa? Smoker, non-smoker. So you akan ada P smoker minus P not smoker plus minus Z alpha over 2. This one ada alpha over 2 sebab dia tak cakap pun one-sided. Okay. So tengok formula ni. Kot saya tersalah. Ni tengok formula. Alright. So ini dia punya formula. So alpha kat sini 90%. Which is alpha sama dengan 0.1. Tapi alpha bagi 2 you dapat 0.05. Okay. So you just substitute the value. Okay. Lagi satu kat sini penting. Berapa PS? PS sama dengan apa? Sometimes student tak tahu juga apa PS kat sini. So PS kat sini kita nak do not wrinkle smoker. So you akan ada 20/120. Ini PU. PU kena nilai dia dalam decimal places. I mean dalam 0 and 1. Antara 0 and 1. Okay. Dia bagi ni number of. It's not proportion yet. Okay. So P and S dia akan dapat 55 bahagi 125. Okay. So you akan dapat value sini. Okay. So I will give the answer scheme. You can see that. So jawapan dia akan dapat negatif. Okay. So memang I kata dalam proportion tak boleh dapat negatif. Dia patut 0,1. Okay, tapi kita still accept, bukan still accept, dia boleh jadi negatif sebab dia adalah difference. Dia bukan exact value, dia difference. So bila dia kata difference tu macam magnitude lah. Okay, dia bukan exact value. Alright. Okay, clear or not for question number 4.1 tu? Okay, final answer akan negatif. You akan nampak nanti dalam dalam WhatsApp Alright, so comment on the parameter estimate. So when comment tu, interpret lah. We are 90% confident that apa? That the different true proportion of people do not have prominent wrinkle is between jawapan you. Jawapan you kena dalam percentage. Okay, and then you ada negatif kan? So bila ada negatif, dia punya explanation interpret tu lain sikit. Okay, make sure you tengok modul tu balik. Kita dah explain dah hari tu. Maksudnya more by berapa, macam tu. Alright, try tengok yang tu And then the question number 3, estimate the margin of error in 1. So when they want to estimate margin of error tu, actually you just ambil this one je pun tak apa. Ni. Okay, yang belakang ni. 0.092. Okay. Kalau dalam jawapan dia buat macam ni pun boleh jugalah. B minus A. B minus A divided by 2. Pun dia akan dapat this one. Okay. Tapi yang lebih accurate adalah this one lah. Okay. Alright. So that question number 4, okay, proportion. Now question number 5. So before question number 5, any question for question number 4? Do you have any question? Okay, clear Proportion dia agak mudah lah sebab dia straightforward. Alright. Okay, now question number 5. Summer break can be considered as a very expensive holiday. Okay, statement je lah tu, okay. A tourism company in Malaysia has made a survey with a sample of 30 visitors. So you know sample, so this is N30, okay. Where the average spending by visitor on flight ticket, accommodation and food is 5,000 and standard deviation this one. So this one you know is X bar, this one is S. Okay, because that one come from 30 visitor. Okay. Construct and interpret the 95% confident interval for a population standard deviation. So when they ask you confident interval, and then this one is two-tailed because it's not one-sided, and then they focus on standard deviation. So standard deviation, this one, sigma. Okay. Of the visitor spending on summer break. Assume the data follow. Okay. So when we have population standard deviation, if you look formula, we only have one formula, which is this one. Okay, for standard deviation. So this one is for variance. Kalau untuk standard deviation, you kena buat apa? Square root ni. Okay, square root. Okay, tapi you boleh je buat guna ni dulu. Nanti final answer baru you square root. So dalam ni, you perlukan apa? N. You perlukan S square dengan nilai chi-square. Okay, I do hope that you know how to read the table. Okay, so from here, you know that your N is 30. You have there. And then standard deviation. Given standard deviation 250. But in the formula, we want S square, isn't it? So when you have S square, this 250 should be square as well. Okay, don't confuse with variance and standard deviation. Standard deviation S only. Variance, you will have S square. So tengok data tu kasih apa. Dalam ni dia kata S. Tapi dalam formula, dia nak variance. So you kena squarekan data. Okay. And then, chi-square. Okay, dekat chi-square tu you just follow the formula lah. So you nampak sini 1 minus alpha over 2. Yang sebelah kiri alpha over 2. And then you tengok. Okay. And then the answer you will get 199.1017 and then 336.0785. So this standard deviation, so dia ni akan RM lah. Okay, ringgit Malaysia. 4 decimal places. Okay, don't forget 4 decimal places. And then, any question for question 5? This straightforward sebab dia standard deviation, variance, proportion, dia straightforward. You je kena faham macam mana nak tahu. Dia nak population ke, dia nak standard deviation ke, dia nak variance ke, dia nak mean ke, dia nak proportion ke, okay? Tapi you nampak kan bila I jawab ni, I gariskan benda-benda yang penting. Itu you kena clear. Alright? Right, now question number 6. A producer of extruded plastic product find that his mean daily inventory is 1,250 pieces. A new marketing policy has been put into effect, and it is of interest to test that the mean daily inventory is still the same. Okay, so you can see the first sentence just mentioned his mean daily inventory. So this one, mean. Is it X bar or mu? Is it X bar or mu?
You.
Mu. Okay, mu. Because you have this value but you didn't know how many sample. Okay. A new marketing policy has been put into effect and it is interesting to test the mean daily inventory is still the same or not. Okay. You nak check. Mean ni masih sama ke tak? Okay. A sample of daily inventory from 8 randomly selected. So this one you know, this is your sample. N equal to 8. Sample size dia besar ke kecil? Kecil. Kurang daripada 30. Okay, give the following data. So kita ada ni, pieces lah. Okay, ada 8 data. The question asks you, test at 1% significant level. You tengok ni. Dia minta confident interval ke? Dia minta confident interval ke? Dia minta confident interval ke?
No.
Tak. Dia kata test at 1% significant level. So maksudnya dia nak hypothesis. Okay, test at 1% significant level. The hypothesis that the mean daily inventory remain unchanged. So kalau remain unchanged, equal ke not equal?
Equal.
Equal. Very good. Okay, tengok lecturer pandai je dia nak buat you confused. Tapi you must understand remain unchanged maksudnya equal. And then you nampak sini kita nak cakap pasal mean, mu. And then 1% alpha sama dengan 0.01. Bila dia equal kat sini, dia akan divide by 2. Sebab dia two-sided. Okay, dan dia hypothesis. Hypothesis yang ada 5 step tu. Okay. Assume the data are follow normally distributed. So, first step, write down your H0 and H1. So, you nampak memang sebenarnya dalam test ni masuk sampai mu je kan? Ada tak mu1 minus mu2? Tak ada kan? So, memang kat situ mu. Okay? Tapi selain daripada itu, you boleh nampak yang I bulat-bulatkan. So, bila I bulatkan tu, itu adalah parameter yang dia nak tahu. Mean, mu. 1 mu. So, you nampak sini dia cakap apa? Unchanged. So, unchanged equal kan? So, equal dekat H0 ke H1?
H0.
H0. So, equal. Equal dengan apa? Ini. Okay? 1250. Sebab itu yang dia kasih. Okay? Kat sini, dari sini, you akan dapat apa? X bar dengan S. Guna calculator. So, step 1, ini adalah yang diberi dan ini adalah claim. Okay, apa yang dikasih dekat soalan, itu adalah claim. So, dekat sini adalah apa? Not equal. 1250. So, that is step number 1. Okay, this is step number 1. So, step number 2, test statistik. Okay, so kita tahu dia mean. Okay, ni memang mean. You takkan confuse. So, bila mean, you kena tengok je. You tahu tak nilai sigma? Population sigma. You tahu tak population variance? Tak ada kan? Kita tak tahu. Kita cuma ada sample je. So, bila kita ada sample, maksud dia unknown. This one, unknown. So, when unknown, kita kena check sample size. Sample size less than 30. So, kita akan guna t-test. So, formula pun ada dekat statistical table. Sebelah sini. Alright. So, this one tak boleh guna sebab kita tak ada sigma. This one tak boleh guna sebab N kita kecil daripada 30. So, kita akan guna t-test. So, you nampak tak formula dia? X bar minus mu naught divide by S over square root N. So, X bar dengan S, you calculate guna calculator daripada data tadi. Mu naught, you ambil daripada step 1. N sama dengan 8. Okay. So, basically sebenarnya t-test tu nanti, you akan dapat mana t-test? Sekejap. Negatif. Negatif 0.6159. Okay. So, you akan dapat nilai dia macam tu lah. Alright, negatif. Tapi you nampak bila dia equal not equal, alpha kena divide by 2. You akan dapat 0.0005. Okay. And then, you punya area akan kanan dan kiri. Okay. Tu step number 2. Step number 3, you need to look table. Okay. So, guna t-test, so you akan guna t-table. Sekejap jawapan ni I ada tak? Ni sem berapa ni? I kata sem lepas kan? Sem 1. Okay, I tunjuk jawapan lah supaya you terus nampak. Okay. So, ni step number 1. Tapi I akan share lah ni nanti. So, ni step number 1. So, ni step number 1. So, ini yang you calculate guna calculator. Ni step number 2. Ni step number 3. Okay, you kena bagi dua sebab you detail. Kiri dan kanan. Okay. So, you dapat value this one. So, bila kiri dan kanan, sebelah kanan positif lah. 3.4995. Sebelah kiri negatif 3.4995. Okay. So, now step number 4 ni, you kena check. Okay, dalam kes ni dia tak guna lukisan. Dia guna ayat. So, since you tengok nilai negatif 0.6159 tu, is it at the dark side or at the bright side? Dia dekat sini kan, at the bright side. So, nilai dia in between negatif 3 dengan positif 3. Dia dekat tengah-tengah. So, you punya decision, do not reject H0. Okay. So, kat sini tadi, atas ni adalah claim. So, bila do not reject the H0, so what is your conclusion? Okay, this is step number 4, this is step number 5. So, step number 4 tu you dah decide, do not reject H0 because the value is in between the two values. And then kalau you lukis, dia dekat bright side. Okay. So, conclusion, step number 5. At alpha 0.01, the mean daily inventory remain unchanged despite the implementation of the new policies. So, you ambil je balik ni. Okay, ataupun sebenarnya ambil balik dalam ayat dia lah. Okay, this one. Tapi alpha kena mention, okay, berapa? Alpha 0.01, the mean daily inventory remain unchanged despite the implementation of the new policy. Ambil je ayat dekat soalan balik. Alright? So, do you have any question for question number 6 ni? Any question for this one?
No, Doktor.
No, okay. So, usually question number 6 and 7 tu, you tahu dah dia nak apa. Okay, you tahu dah dia nak apa, you cuma guna je 5 step tadi tu. Okay. So, soalan nombor 7. Cadbury is a multinational confectionery company that is well known for its sought after rambutan flavor chocolate. Okay, I rasa tak tahu lah ada ke tak lagi. A production manager at one of the Cadbury factory in Malaysia noticed that one of the machine is frequently amiss at producing the exact weight of 165 gram chocolate. Okay. And in fact keep producing heavier chocolate bar. So ada satu mesin tu buat problem. Sepatutnya dia kena produce 165 gram chocolate bar, tapi dia asyik produce coklat yang berat. Mungkin 200 gram macam tu. Okay. Alright. Soalan nombor 1. A sample of 40 chocolate bar give a statistic this one. Okay. A sample of 40 chocolate bar. So you know this is sample size n equal to 40. Give a test statistic. So test statistic is step number 2. Okay. Sama ada Z ke ataupun T. Okay. Tak tahu. Tapi kalau nampak 40 ni, maksudnya kita akan guna apa kat sini? T ke Z? Yelah, T ke Z? Anyone? T ke Z?
Z.
Z. Okay, sebab 40. Alright, so test statistic dia akan guna Z. So using this value and a critical value of this one, test whether the manager observation is true or not. Okay, so dia dah bagi banyak lah. Macam tadi you nampak kan setiap 5 step ni you buat sendiri. Tapi sekarang dia dah buat dah untuk step number 2, step number 3. You cuma kena buat step number 1. So step number 1 you akan ada H now, H1. You still ada mu. Okay, sebab sebenarnya kalau ikut ayat ni dia tak tulis tau perkataan average. So bila tak ada average, sometimes kalau you dah belajar semua parameter, dia agak sukar weight tu untuk satu ke untuk average. Contoh. Tapi kita boleh katalah the average kat sini. So ni adalah mu. Okay. So the question, the manager's observation, is it true or not? Apa observation manager? Observation manager apa? Berat coklat tu lebih daripada 165. Betul tak? Kan? Heavier chocolate. You all kena faham tau betul-betul. So kalau you tengok ayat dia, a production manager of one of the Cadbury factory machine noticed that one of the machine is frequently amiss at producing the exact weight for 165 gram chocolate bar. Right? Itu yang selalu machine patut buat. In fact, keep producing heavier chocolate. So heavier chocolate lebih besar lah kan? Lebih berat, lebih besar. So bila lebih besar, lebih berat, dekat H0 ke dekat H1?
H1.
Okay, H1. Lebih besar daripada berapa? 165 yang atas ni. Okay, so ini adalah dia punya claim. So here will be, lebih kecil dan sama dengan. Okay, so ni step number 1. Step number 2 dia dah kirakan. Ni dia nilai dia. Step number 3 dia dah kirakan. Ini nilai dia. So kalau tengok ni, is it right tail, left tail or two tail? Right tail kan? Lebih besar sini. So sini adalah 1.96. So now check 9.0331. Is it at the bright side or at the dark side? Lebih daripada 1.96 tak? Nilai ni lebih, dia dekat dark side. Okay, so bila dia dekat at dark side, kita kena reject H now. Okay, reject H now when Z test greater than Z table. Okay, sebab dia case greater than. Okay, so what is your conclusion? At alpha 0. Dalam case ni alpha 0.025. Okay, one-sided. Okay, tak perlu pun bagi 2. Lagipun dia dah buatkan lah ni. Tapi dah nampak lah sini one-sided. So, ni alpha dia. So, at alpha 0.025, we can conclude that the manager observation is true. Okay. I akan share lah answer scheme ni. Okay, don't worry kalau you tak dapat follow. Tapi most important, macam mana you baca soalan tadi. Macam mana you cakap apa tadi? Nak tahu dia punya population sample semua tu lah. Alright. Alright, so now we move to question number 2. Last question ni, given you have the following rule, okay, describe how the result in one become an advantage or disadvantages for you. Okay, so based on atas, apa you punya advantage dengan disadvantage? So kalau you are Cadbury loyal customer who eats rambutan flavor chocolate daily, apa advantage untuk you?
Dapat lebih.
Yeah, okay. I get more value than what I paid for. Kan? Kita bayar untuk harga 165 gram. So kita dapat lebih berat. So maksudnya kita bayar sikit. Macam itulah. So that's mean you boleh cakap lah. Guna je ayat you sendiri. Okay? So kalau you buat answer scheme tu, the advantage, I get more value than what I paid for. Or you can cakap, I get more chocolate than what I paid for. Okay? So kalau you are one of the biggest shareholder at Cadbury Malaysia and own the factory, what does it mean? This will be disadvantages lah, isn't it? The raw material cost for the chocolate tu will be greater daripada profit yang I dapat. Alright, itu you kena berfikir sikit. Tapi benda yang benda yang is a common sense lah. Okay, it's a common sense. Maksudnya kalau you customer, you memang akan it will be advantage untuk you lah. You bayar dengan harga sikit tapi you dapat lebih. Tapi yang B, kalau you owner of the chocolate factory, you kena beli banyak factory cost tu, material cost untuk buat coklat tu, tapi profit yang you dapat sikit sebab machine tu rosak kan, dia bagi coklat tu lebih ke you. Alright? Alright, so any question for this one? This one I akan share tapi I macam kena padam lah yang kanan-kanan ni. Okay, sebab tu untuk kita orang. Tapi I akan share. Alright? Any question for this one? I rasa lagi satu tu. Okay, kita dah 1 jam ni. Tapi ada tak soalan untuk yang lagi satu tu? Untuk soalan ini. Mana? Oh, this one. Soalan Sam ni, yang ni important jugalah. Okay? Soalan ni important juga. Maksudnya cara, dia punya format tu lah sikit. Okay? So, ada tak soalan untuk yang ni? Sebab ni kalau nak discuss ni akan ambil masa juga ni. Tapi daripada, maksudnya cara I buat soalan tadi, you all boleh nampak. Setiap ayat, you tengok apa dia. Okay, supaya you tak keliru. Okay, I rasa yang ni, ni keluar MUD. Okay, ni MUD, nampak? Sebab dia ada satu je patient, tapi dia ada before and after. Ni MUD. Okay, you jangan keliru, okay? Dia ada seorang, tapi ada before and after. So, the sample dependent? Yes, dependent. I rasa yang jawapan ni dah ada kan dalam apa ni? Kalam. Dah ada tak? Dah. Okay, so you can go through. Okay. Cuma tujuan I discuss ni tadi, I nak tunjuk macam mana you nak jawab. Okay. Maksudnya bila baca tu kena buat nota kecil sikit. Bukanlah nota. Untuk you ingat, tengok apa dia. Okay. Alright. So any question? Kita akan end class. Okay. Tapi kalau ada apa-apa pertanyaan untuk test, bukan untuk soalan test, untuk tanya apa-apa, revision yang you buat, you boleh WhatsApp lah, okay, dan tanya. Kalau you boleh buat lebih daripada 2 yang I kasih tu pun lagi bagus. Maksudnya you akan increase you punya skill menjawab soalan. Sebabnya soalan ni kita boleh buat dengan banyak cara, macam-macam. Okay, jadi bila you buat banyak set, you akan improve you punya skill menjawab soalan. Macam ni lah. Awal-awal kadang-kadang dah nampak proportion ke mean and so on. Alright. So any other things? No? Yes? No? Yes? So untuk esok dia akan 8.30. coordinator dah setkan soalan tu dan dia pun dah setkan untuk submit tu. Alright, make sure you ada calculator, make sure you ada what we call it, stat table. Okay, stat table kena ada. And then integrity form jangan lupa sign dan hantar. And then try your best, try your own best. Okay, jangan tanya kawan-kawan, jangan WhatsApp, jangan Google. Try you tengok diri you. Boleh ke tak? Okay. Sebabnya based on test ni, selalunya dia boleh predict untuk exam. Integrity ni, dia boleh predict sampai ketua. Okay. So, I think that's all lah kan? Right? So, all the best. Kita cuma ada satu test je. Jangan lepaskan peluang. Dan 30%. 30% tu banyak sangat. Dan percayalah, kalau you belajar, you buat betul-betul, you tahu buat, insyaAllah boleh perform. Okay? Kita target subjek ni A kan? Cubalah curi masa untuk study subjek ni. Okay? Lagi satu, sekarang kan bulan puasa. Jadi lepas tarawih boleh je nak sambung belajar ataupun selepas sahur tak mau tidur, terus je belajar. Okay? Alright, anything else? No code, Alright, so I think that's all for today. Thank you class and all the best.
Thank you, Doctor.
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 Thank you,
Doctor.